Game number 1! This time we have a best of 3 series, everybody. So now we are in the semi-final. Let's go. Battlefield of Eternity is the first map, chosen by the Hardos, by the way. So let's see what they can pull off here. They're going up against Rozpierdol today. It means something funny in Polish. People have been telling me in the past. Kind of forgot about it afterwards. I think it's also like a little bit of a swear word or a curse word or something. Whatever it is at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much. So the Polish team in red, and we got the boys in blue, the Hardos. And let's see what they can pull off this time. This is a best of 3 series, so will be the grand final. And as mentioned before, during the qualifier tournaments, which are open tournaments, which means anybody can participate. There's like no restrictions. But throughout all of these tournaments, you will gather points. The points will be accumulated over the course of the season. There's 10 qualification tournaments in total. And then at the end of the season, the top 8 teams move on to the playoffs, where the teams will play for 4,000 euros of prize money. That's pretty much the setup right now. And it should be pretty good here. Now, some people probably haven't watched all of the matches from the previous round, so let's go over this real quickly again. Right now, we have on the side of the Hardos 2 players that you definitely did not see play for them in the Masters Clash, for example. That's Khaldor and Copenhagen. Copenhagen is replacing Chris, so Chris is apparently out of the Hardos, and Copenhagen is in, and Khaldor is currently subbing in for Benny, who couldn't play today, so they're playing with a sub player here. But you will see a lot more teams that throughout the next couple of weeks will play with new lineups. It's pretty much the norm after you have a long and extended tournament series or a league like the Masters Clash end. Normally teams will slightly adjust. One player is going to leave or going to be replaced or whatever. And then teams are just going to get new players in, some fresh blood and whatnot. And that's the case here for the Hardos, but we're also going to see the same thing for other teams. And some teams will also completely newly form. I talked in one of the previous matches a little bit about how Team Ash, for example, has now reformed again. They're still keeping the acronym, but they have a different, like, full name. But either way, it's kind of the setup right now. And honestly, I would expect that after the X Cup summer, when we're heading into the next season of the X Cup, that we're also going to see these changes. To tell you the truth, it's one of the reasons why we have the multiple season as it stands. It didn't go for like one thing that lasts half a year or even more, because this way you keep it a little bit more flexible for the teams, that they can play with other players on the lineup if they so want to, and can switch things up a little bit. So one of the reasons why we're going for this particular setup. Now, first of all, we got in our game Ether picking Vala. Very early pick on Vala here in Battlefield of Eternity. We have the ban against Blaze and Stukov from the Hardos, with Malfurion and Urel as the early picks, which also resembles a bit what we've seen in the previous games from the Hardos. The early pick on Urel by Copenhagen has been something that they now used multiple times. And Gulnar's Malfurion pick allows you, of course, to go into a Tracer if you want to, if you're just looking for the damage there. Or you can at the same time also simply play any other setup with Malfurion, maybe pre-stun where he can drop the root on the ground and then lock the target down even further. Stitches gets picked, and we got Anduin. Now, the Anduin pick is actually interesting because of multiple reasons. Now, first of all, Anduin in itself is actually a pretty good support. As much fun as I make of Anduin, because he's a Nick Carter of the Nexus and a member of the Backstreet Boys and a whiny crybaby, the character itself is actually pretty cool and offers a lot in games. But Anduin is also a little bit of a counter pick to Stitches. I mean, not hard counter setup or whatever, but you can, after Stitches hits a hook, if Anduin is positioned well, you can always move in, use the trade, and save the target. And if you pick Anduin now for yourself, that's something that you can negate a little bit. So that's actually kind of cool that they take that option away from the Hardos. Then again, don't really think that that thought played too much of a role here, because already Malfurion was picked on the other side, but it adds a little bit of extra spice to this. Also, since this is going to be a different setup, guys, again, if I'm today a little bit more on the down low, you hear the occasional cough. I'm sorry, I'm still running a fever and have a headache. Unfortunately, I got pretty sick yesterday, and I feel a little bit better today, but still not 100%, which is also the reason why we're, for now at least, only covering one of the semifinals. In the upcoming tournaments, there's going to be a whole lot more, but yeah, it's a struggle today, so apologies for that. We got Garrosh in, and we got Hanzo. Okay, so that's where the immortal damage is going to come up immediately. And what do we get for the red team now? Because again, Rozpierdol, they have another double pick coming up. They still need their side laner, and they need also another one for the 4-man that they can play here. Liming is in, and we got Imperious. So that's actually Hook into Wrath. Wouldn't that be a thing? Hook into Wrath, and then you go just for full-on Kidnap combo. But yeah, either way, no matter what they pick here, it's a solid lineup. You have Vala for the immortal damage, you got Liming for the consistent poke from afar, you have Imperious and Stitches. That's a real nice setup for them. And the last pick for Yasuo for the Hardos. What are we going to get from them? Battlefield of Eternity, map number 1. We're heading into it with Maiev as the last pick. Okay. Yeah, the stage is set, everybody. Battlefield of Eternity, X-Cup Summer Qualifier number 1. And we are in the first semi-final. So I head straight into Battlefield of Eternity, Rospedal against the Hardos. Game number 1 in the best of 3, the semi-final, everybody. The Hardos against Rospedal with Hazops on Hanzo. We got Yasuo on Maiev. Galnagulnar is playing Malfurion. We got Copenhagen on Urel. And Nick is playing Garrosh. On the right side of the map, Rospedal with Akunis on Imperious. We currently got Redon on Anduin, Ether on Vala, Makotzel on Stitches, and Alvaros is playing Liming. Going into Power Hungry on level 1 here. Whereas we have the arrow build with the puncturing arrow leading things off for our Vala player. And of course the patchwork creation for Stitches. Playtime! So much playtime! So, let's go. Hits are already coming in. So far so good. And, well, the hook hasn't connected. That's of course what we're going to keep our eye on. If our Roadhog Stitches skin here can get anything set up or not. Time will tell, we'll see. Yeah, not like this. The swap on Vala, on the other hand, put her into real danger, but they saved her, and especially Anduin was, of course, very helpful here. That's, by the way, a really cool setup for them too, because the pick on Garrosh obviously happened afterwards, but Anduin is fantastic against Garrosh as well. Again, hard counter setups don't really exist to that extent in Heroes of the Storm, or they're incredibly rare, but Anduin obviously has a lot to offer when going up against Garrosh, simply because whenever there is a flip, he can help out, and might have to do that again. Vala is consistently under pressure there, and dies to Hanzo. Nicely done. Hazu with the kill is able to lock it in. Good job. And with this, they can now try to set things up for the next... yeah, for the camp pretty much. Urel is sneaking down to the bottom of the map, and Akunis is currently taking this a little bit easier because he doesn't really know where Copenhagen is, so he doesn't want to risk anything. Copenhagen is just sitting around to make sure that if there's a battle over the bottom camp, that he can commit and help the team out. And I would have expected the red team to send one of their heroes to the top lane so that they can at least get one camp and make it an even trade, but they're not doing that. Instead, they're staying with everybody down here. Good hook, but I'm not sure if Nick is really going to be threatened. No. Galnagulnar is just going for the heals, no problems. They're keeping Garrosh alive, and that's all they got to do here. Well done by them. And so far, so good. All the way up at the top. Yeah, there's the hit. So, Copenhagen again. Easy peasy. Can just simply wait this out. I like the move where he moved into the middle of the map, but that's a kill, right? Yeah, that has to be one. Bit of an aggressive play by Maiev. She gets punished for it. But if you look at the red team, I mean, pretty much every single one of them is so far down in the red. It's kind of crazy. So they keep Stitches around at the bot lane so that he can soak the experience. It's one of the camps hooked in and uses Devour immediately on it. He will not have to move back anytime soon. Maybe for mana. But it's time for the camps. And the camp at the top, by the way, the Khaldor camp has not been taken by either one of the teams. Ah, look at Nick. I mean, he has not skipped leg day. Did you just see that throw on Stitches? I mean, Stitches is a big boy. He's a little fatty. He needs to do a little bit more cardio. But Garrosh has no problem. He comes in, lifts with the knees, and then gets the quick flip in. So yeah, good for him. Nicely done. Well, at the same time now, we got the move for the first objective, and Vala, of course, continuing with the multi-shot build with the repeating arrow on level 4. She has 4 stacks to her level 1 right now. And Liming is also starting to fire away. The Immortal setup is really good for Rospedal. I like it a lot. Now, if you win the team fight, then the Hardos are not going to care about that too much, and that's what they're looking for, obviously. There's already the tether, trying to get them into the Immortal stun range, which didn't quite work out for them. But Stitches is in slight trouble, has the Devour ready, and is using it immediately. And there's the kill against Maiev. So the Hardos are all of a sudden losing ground. And Nick nearly died. They're trying to get the kill here. He makes it out with 60 hit points. but the Immortal is still up for grabs, and now they're just shelling away. Yeah, that's an easy halftime show for Rospiedol. And a big hook against Nick. Nice. Nicely done. Yeah, great job. So Hazu is also slowly moving back here. It's not like they lost the objective or anything yet. But of course the pressure is on, and with this being a full-on commitment by both teams now, it seems like the red team is going to lock this one in for sure. Yeah, Vala is just a little bit too strong, especially together with Liming in this situation. So the first Immortal goes to Rospiedol. Well played. Yeah, if they can get the kill now, that's a different story on the other hand, and indeed they do. Vala is down, she got flipped a few times already, and this time she gets murdered by Hanzo. It's the second time that she dies, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yep, Vala got murdered twice. Both of the kills against Vala. Our girl has to be a little bit more careful here. Living a life on the edge, a little bit too far out. And here comes the play. Maiev then again, also got crushed twice. Obviously could have been way worse for the blue team if they had lost Nick, who was several times below 100 hit points. So that's a problem in and of itself. But the Immortal didn't do a whole lot. They got one tower through the Immortal. That's a bit of a sad panda move. Yeah. That's just sad. That's just sad. I don't know what to tell you. That, on the other hand, could that be a kill? Are they going to get it? Stitches? Maybe? No. Yeah. Tried to go for the hook here, but couldn't make it happen. So, with all of that said and done, here we have it. The little move down to the bottom of the map as they're going for the camp again. And this is the fight. And, well, there's the kill against Maiev again. Maiev dies time and time again, and Stitches is still alive, and they not only get the first kill, they're following up with the second and the third, and that's a fourth kill right here. What? 4 kills for the red team. Rospiedol with a camp and a quad kill. Yeah, check that one out. Big battle. Makotzel makes it out with Stitches, and then they turn it around, and Liming is getting reset after reset and absolutely shellacks them. 6 kills, 2-2. Great play by Rospiedol. And Galnegulnar gets murdered by Vala in the Khazra camp. Yeah, that is a staggered death that you don't want to have. I mean, honestly, that should not have happened. I have no idea what Malfurion was doing there, but that was a sad panda move. Yeah, and the Hardos might find themselves in a lot more trouble than they expected. Rospiedol, obviously not a total no-name team. Not by any means. What is Yasuo doing with his Maiev, by the way? At this point, he's just running it down mid. On a map that doesn't even have a mid lane, making it even more impressive. But yeah, so level 10 is on the board, 7 kills, 2-2. And I don't know what to tell you, but things are getting nasty. And they actually go into Wrath of the Angiris. So we have a hook into Gorge, into Wrath on the same target. We have a kidnap combo on our hands. I mean, that is kind of nasty. The only thing that you need right now is Pedo Murden with the Haymaker, MAD for the portal, and you have the full setup. You can maybe also drop a false set in there for Mighty Gust, and you can literally kidnap the target throughout the entire map. But look at the Immortal here. They're already looking fantastic on the Immortal too. There's the play for it as they are poking it down slowly but steadily. The level 10 still such a huge advantage for the red team. And they should have this without a problem whatsoever. If you have heroic abilities and your opponent doesn't, you're in trouble. There's the escape. Nice done. And goodbye, Maiev. Beautiful setup by Rospiedol. And they get another kill just after that too. 2 kills. Well done. The hook, the Gorge. Even if they kill Stitches, that's a dead Malfurion. He has no chance of survival. And Rospiedol is just crushing the Hardos at this point. I mean, check this one out. Look at this beautiful setup here. So here comes the delivery. The stun comes immediately afterwards. Perfect timing from Ethan and Svala. And that's a dead Maiev. And then they follow it up with another kill against Garrosh. They got 2 kills. After that, the hook connects with Malfurion and they drop him too. Doesn't get much better than that, let's be honest. Really good coordination for them. And now we have not only the fort at the bot lane destroyed, but they're also moving through the top lane in an attempt to drop both. And I don't know who's going to stop them here. Yeah, that's another kill against Nick. No way. No way. He survives again. And they kill Vala. What? Hello? A kill against Stitches, a kill against Anduin, and a kill against Liming. What? What just happened? I mean, that could have... Not only should that have been a kill against Garrosh, but at least Maiev should have fallen too. That was insane. Check that one out. Crazy. The cage is in. They get the first kill. Hazu is poking from afar, and then everybody dead and dying, with Maiev coming in at the back end of the fight and getting a quick clip on Li Ming to drop her too. 6 kills against 10, and all of a sudden, the Hardos, I mean, again, they might still be behind in structures, but at least in experience, they have now caught up. So, that was kind of crazy. That was pretty sexy here, I'm not gonna lie. 25,000 damage for Vala in the meantime. We got 33,000 for Hanzo. And, well, just like that. We can go down to the bottom of the map and see what the blue team is doing there. Level 13 talents are going to kick in for both of the teams. Stitches, therefore, gets his hook extension. And, more importantly, we also have, of course, the follow-up here. The Lion Speed, the boots. The boots, and then the double glyph on level 16 for Anduin. But, yeah. Stitches can now be a real threat. Not like this. It's not that easy for him. Now, he might get his hooks connected, but not like this. So, we got the objective popping up. Camps are being taken. The 20 stacks for Li Ming in the meantime. Okay. So, there we go. And besides that, we have them now with an opportunity to chunk that Immortal down even further. And if they win another one, then it could be the first keep of the game that gets destroyed here. The Hardos, they need to win some team fights and really bring it back. They had a real nice setup topside, where they got 4 kills in total, but now they got to do a little bit more work around the Immortal itself. And of course, for the Puncturing Arrow, this is going to be heavily important here. I mean, the damage increase is super important if you want to chunk the Immortal down. Especially now that she also has the Monster Hunter. So whenever Vala is able to get to the opponent's Immortal and get the full combo set up, she's going to do work. And 20 stacks are nothing to frown upon. Oh god! Yasu gets nearly caught here. Yeah, that was close. That was very, very close. But yeah, again, he dodged out on it, so it's fine. But it's just a poke game at this point. So, let's see what they can do. The cage is up. Not sure if that's the best position to fight, though. The Immortal's done. Yeah, that's Anduin in trouble. Anduin, he might die, and indeed he does, but so does Malfurion. Both of the teams without a support, but Vala has been obliterated. She's dead, and that's a 3 versus 4 in favor of the Hardos. Yeah, I'm not sure if they can take this one, though, but Akunis is gonna die. Yeah! Hazu comes in, delivers the final blow, and only 2 of the players are still... okay, scratch that. Only 1 player is going to survive this one. Stitches is going to die too. Was a really nice flip from Nick. And Alvaros was trying to go for the kill but couldn't. Was hoping for the reset and didn't get it. And that means that he's dead too. 5-man team wipe, baby. The entire team got murdered. And in the meantime, the red team has already lost 50% of their Immortal HP. So a great move from the Hardos. And that's a real nice comeback into the game. They got murdered in the early game. Now it's 11 kills against 11, and they have taken an entire level lead over Rospier Doll, which is allowing them not only 100% shield Immortal, but even more important, they're going to get a level 16 talent with this push. Not only is this fort 100% going to fall, they might be able to push this even further. Yeah, that could be kind of sick. Yeah, that could actually be really sick. If they can now maybe get another kill even, there's always the risk that that happens, then that would be an utter disaster. 42,000 damage for Hanzo. And look at it already. Maiev is setting up at the side, and they're going to try and flank them. Especially Vala. If Vala gets caught again, they're going to lose way more than only the fort. The fort is going to be lost 100%. Yeah, Maiev comes in. No, not like this. Using the stun just on the off chance that she's actually going to jump in for that. They're not going to get the keep. But they might be able to take the wall down. At least part of it is going to get dropped. Maybe a little bit more too. It's a little bit heartbreaking, honestly, for the red team, considering how far ahead they were. They haven't lost this one yet. But given the fact that they were heavily ahead, it would have been kind of cool for them, I suppose, if they would have taken the lead against a team as strong as the Hardos. Because despite the fact that the red team isn't an unknown team, the Hardos are still the favorite in all of this one. Here comes, on the other hand, the Glyph of Faith. That's going to be a hugely important talent. And we got also Manticore, plus the Pulverize. So a lot of stuff that really comes together for them now, where they have a lot more kill potential, and also, of course, the chance of saving a target much easier or more often. Thanks to Anduin's double trade. which is really important if you're playing against Maiev and against Garrosh. And, of course, Urel to an extent. I mean, she can also jump behind you and just simply push you back out. But topside pressure, and the red team is a little bit late to react. They kind of underestimated that situation, and now they're paying the price. They're going to lose the keep. Keep is going to be lost. Even if it costs them a hero, it's totally fine. Yeah, they are going to get... Oh, well, maybe not. There's the arrow. Ult on Urel. Can they get the kill regardless? The fight here... Nah, Stitch is down. Malfurion down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, team. Vala and Li Ming both incredibly low, but there's no chance for the Hardos to take the core down after they lost Malfurion. The Malfurion kill was honestly what set them back so much in that battle that there was just no way for them to end the game here. So I guess that's the shimmer of light at the end of the tunnel for Rospierdol, that at least the game is safe for now, but the problem still remains. Stitch is down for 15. He's just going to come back as the objective pops up. And then they have to fight for the Immortal, and if they lose that one, it's going to be rough. It's kind of funny when you look at the minimap, by the way. Top lane, fort, and keep both destroyed, and then you look at the bottom of the map, and all of the structures are still standing there. So it kind of shows you how exactly all of that played out so far. Yeah, here's the attack coming in for the objective. Both of the teams are just racing it. And the winner is the red team by 500 hit points. Not really a whole lot. Yeah, hook attempts into the vents. Okay. Alright, Garrosh. Alright. Okay, he's screaming around a little bit. Screaming duel with Varian, I suppose. There's the arrow. So far they're still safe. Gorge on Maiev. Vala's a little bit low already, so she needs to be careful. The delivery on Hanzo. Beautiful stun again. The combo between Imperius and Vala is always amazing, but they're still losing the fight here. At least that's what it seems like. There's a nice engage from the Hardos, and they're really turning this around extremely well. Initially, Hanzo was in so much trouble, but he got saved by the rest of the team, and that helped them now to get the kill against Imperius. Vala is also a little bit low. And Nick is not looking too great either, but I guess he's still fine here. Nice done. Can they get the connect on Vala? Yeah, maybe. And that's another kill. Well played. Yasuo and his Maiev, they're getting a bit momentum. They struggled earlier, but now they're going for it. And as all of this happened, the Immortal has already been taken. That's the cool thing about the Hardos. They're not just putting their eggs into one basket. Instead, they're just sitting there, make the play for the team fight with just a few, zone the opponent out, create some space for the rest of the team to get the Immortal, and they even get the kills with it. Level 20 on the board. That makes matters even worse. The Bullseye is in. Decimate gets upgraded to the Deadly Calm. Got the Shadow Orb Huntress in. And that should be game, honestly. I mean, the Immortal is big enough, but two are still down, Stitches for 20 seconds, and with the keep now being destroyed, the Immortal is at least going to damage the core. And if the blue team can follow up even a little bit, that should be the end of game number 1 in the best of 3 series here at the semi-final. So, right now, action is starting up. Here comes the play. Imperius with a light bomb is trying to make a play, gets immediately turned upon. Anduin is saving him, at least for now, but the arrow of Hanzo locks him down again. That's a kill. Li Ming is dead too. The core is already falling. The shield is gone, and that is just looking fantastic right now for the Hardos. They struggle in the early game, but here they are once again with another 5-man team wipe as they take down the core and lock in the 1-0 lead in the best of 3 over Rospierdol.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Okay, second map in the series. We're on Cursed Hollow, everybody. And it's the Hardos against Rospierdol. So let's have a bit of a look at this one and check it out. Rospierdol honestly looked really, really good on the first map for the first half. I was pleasantly surprised, let's put it like that. It really felt like they had what it took to take the first game. Now they're immediately banning out Maiev. I mean, initially Yasuo was pretty much just feeding them on Maiev time and time again in every single fight, and then later on he completely turned up the heat and started to wreck them. It was pretty crazy. But either way, now that we're heading into game number 2, they feel that it's warranted to ban Maiev out, and we'll see if that's doing the trick here. The interesting part is that Cursed Hollow is always a map where the Hardos in the past have sometimes played the Vikings. I mean, occasionally you feel they're just picking the map, you know, to bait out the Viking ban to make sure that they have more options on the pick side. but we could definitely see a Viking play from them here on the map, if it's allowed. I assume if so, then it's going to be a late game Vikings pick. We got the Lucio ban already in, Sylvanas is getting banned out, and what's the last ban of the first phase as we are heading into all of that? Let me see what they're going to get here. Yeah, maybe even that Li Ming that was played in the last game if you want a target ban, but I don't really think so. It's a Junkrat ban. Okay, so let's head up into this and have a look. Blaze as a first pick. Immediately. No time wasted on this one. Insta-lock. Okay, so on the side of the Hardos, what are we going to get? Immediately the Falstad. So already a little bit of global pressure on the map, and also more global pressure. Ooh, we got a double global. Brightwing and Falstad already. Okay, they are definitely focusing on the macro game here. And on top of that, they have now, with at least Falstad, the option to control the boss points a little bit better. If Brightwing goes into Emerald Wind, they have a second one for that. But that's kind of crazy. Now, for Brightwing, I would more so expect them to go into the Blink heal. But you can go Emerald Wind, of course. And on Cursed Hollow, if your entire play is centered around trying to take the boss away from your opponent and controlling space, Emerald Wind becomes an option. Stukov is kind of nice for similar reasons. We have Cassia this time in, so we're likely going to go for the stacks. And yeah, let's see what we're going to get on the bans. Hazo is the one that has currently Falstad locked in, but of course it doesn't mean anything since there's going to be a swap round after the draft for the players. So if they want to pick the Vikings, they can still pick the Vikings. Anubra gets banned. No diving. No cocoon also. And, well, what are we getting here on the last pick? Well, last ban. We get a Mirrodin ban. No Stormbolts in this one. Yeah, Mirrodin was a bit of a, well, maybe not surprise, but he was the hero that popped up the most, I want to say, at the Masters Clash finals. Like, his pick rate increased by a lot. He was occasionally picked before for the Stormbolt combos and the follow-ups on them, but during the Masters Clash at least, Mirrodin was just played everywhere. It was nuts. There's again Garrosh, so Nick is apparently just saying, you know what, it worked on the last map, so why wouldn't it work here? Let's try to do that again. Copenhagen is playing the Fleabag, so we got Hogger in the house. And yeah, the last two picks for Ross Pierdol. They have to win this one. If they want to have a chance to bring it to the third and final map, then they have to lock in a victory here. They still need their main tank. Unless, of course, they want to play Blaze in the main tank position, which we don't really see all that often, and for a very good reason. But apparently that's exactly what they're doing. So Blaze main tank with Illidan and Tychus to round the draft out. It's getting a little bit wild in here. It's getting really wild. Now, I'm not really a Blaze main tank fan. I mean, there were a couple of games like 6 to 12 months ago where teams made it kind of work. Lauber in particular liked to play it occasionally, especially on Infernal Shrines, but here on Cursed Hollow, and just in general, I'm not really a fan of a Blaze main tank. Got better after Blizzard changed the hero a little bit, like, what was that, 2 years ago? But yeah. And we got Jaina! Alright, Jaina is in. And with that, we're heading into Cursed Hollow, everybody. The Hardos, they can make it a 2-0 victory if they want to advance to the grand final right away. We're going to find out on the second map of the best of 3 series if they can pull it off, or if Ross Pierdol is bringing it back and forces game number 3. Game number 2, Hazops with Falstad. We got Copenhagen on Hogger, Yasuo on Jaina, Hans, aka Nick, on Garrosh, and Galnagulna is playing Brightwing. It's kind of cool to have Jaina back, not gonna lie. Obviously, she has the burst damage that you oftentimes need to just blow a target to pieces immediately, and I think that's what we're going to see here too. You can also do some nasty things with the slows if you're going for the water elemental. Slow Illidan down a bit, for example, and give you a bit more survivability. Arkunis is playing Illidan here, so he's going for the Blind Boy with Redon on Stukov. We got Ether on Cassia. Not going for the stacks here, though, for the charged strikes instead. Makotzel on Blaze, and Alvarus is playing Tychus. Interested to see how the Illidan play works out for them. Yeah, and also what they can do with Blaze, and so far it's already not looking good for them. He's already getting attacked immediately, and yeah, let's see what we're gonna get from that. Now again, Blaze at some point, I think it was roughly 2 years ago, I honestly don't know when exactly, but he was changed back then. His jet propulsion had even more of a delay, And even back then, when Blaze was introduced in HGC, there were a couple of HGC teams that occasionally were trying to make him work as a main tank. Dignitas comes to mind. They played him once or twice in that role on Dragonshire. And even in games where they won, they immediately afterwards said, like, yeah, sorry, but that's a dumb idea. That really just doesn't work. It's way too unreliable when you're going for the engage and you're trying to set the stun up and anything. So they dropped that very quickly. Then Blaze got reworked a bit, and at some point Blizzard made the jet propulsion more reliable in the sense that they reduced the delay before the stun would actually hit and before you would move in, and that made it a bit. It made it a bit better, so you could all of a sudden really make it work to an extent. And that was the time when Lauber, for example, played him quite a bit on maps like Infernal Shrines, where they of course were hoping to get the additional AoE damage through the oil spill and the flames on the shrine, so that they had more of a power play against the minions on the shrines, while at the same time still having the beefy front line with Blaze plus a second melee. But even there, it's just too unreliable of a stun and a setup, so that Blaze as a main tank doesn't really work and is not really played a whole lot. As sometimes you will see him played in that situation, but again, that's one game out of 100, and most of the time it's not really working out there. We'll see how it's gonna plan out for them here today, though, if Rospidol can make it happen. And of course, even better. Hunter's Onslaught on level 4 now. At the same time, we got the Meltdown. And we have the bigger they are in play. So, there's the stun. Hits both. Good for him. And in the meantime, our top setup, Hardos, has to deal with Arkunis. Now, for Illidan, as usual, the most important part is that Illidan, he is a mid and a late game hero. The later in the game, the more space he has to work with, the more dangerous he becomes. In the early game, he normally can't really do a whole lot for you, simply because the opponent can always just fall behind the gate, behind the towers, and then Illidan can't really do a whole lot. What Illidan needs is space. He needs some space to work with, and that's why he loves a map where the forts and maybe even the keeps have already eliminated, because he can just jump in and then chase you down 6 days to Sunday. And as long as you don't have a fallback option and your distance to safety is increased, Illidan is just a terrifying opponent to go up against. That, on the other hand, is a very nice kill for Rospidol, so they are able to get Garrosh dropped, paying Nick back a little bit for the last game, I guess. And with that, we have the first tribute for them too. Now Illidan at the top needs to be careful, because Yasuo is currently sitting here. Brightwing came in too, and they are definitely heavily pushing this. Now if Arkunis pops his head out a bit too much, he is going to die for sure. And Stukov might die. Oh, that time it didn't quite work out. Can you imagine if Stukov would have been a little bit faster and would have moved into this spot with Jaina still hiding there? He might have just died right away. But as it stands, they made a play for Illidan a second earlier, and therefore Stukov knew exactly what was up, and all of the abilities were on cooldown anyways, so that wasn't a big problem. Now they can move in here again with level 7 talents being ready. That gives us the secret weapon as usual. It still feels weird for me to say this, by the way. For years and years and years, I've been always telling everybody that secret weapon is a garbage talent and nothing else but a clickbait from Blizzard, a noob trap. Now, secret weapon is actually the standard pick on level 7, and for good reason too. It's kind of crazy. I mean, for years and years on end, I've been telling people boomerang, 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 and now they just reworked the entire hero, and all of a sudden secret weapon is actually the way to go. So, well, there it is. Secret weapon on level 7, everybody. As usual, the kill against Jaina, and the early game once again in the hands of Rospidol. Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but that's a double kill. Yeah, that's for... Oh, maybe a counter? No, not even that. The heal is there. Illidan is chasing Hazu, and he takes him down with the help of Cassia. So now we have 3 heroes eliminated, as Rospidol is... they have 4 kills against 0 now, and they have 2 tributes to 0. Like, the early game is theirs. Game number 1, game number 2, not much of a difference. They're just crushing. They're absolutely crushing here. And now... Okay, they're still going for Copenhagen, but they can't quite get the kill. Again, distance to safety. We talked about it earlier. Now, with all the momentum that they have and the slight leading experience, it's a good position, of course, for Rospidol. Question is, first and foremost, what can they do with it? Now that we are 5 minutes into the game, bosses are up, and that plays, of course, a big role here, because with that in mind, you can always make a bit of a play for the boss and try to take it here. But for now, We have at the bottom of the map a 2-player push to take the last tower down. That's the goal here. Level 10 abilities are in, so now you definitely have the pressure plays available. A nicely timed Siege Giant Camp arrives just as the level 10 hits, so they have a bit more of a chance of doing serious damage to the bottom fort. They need to be aware, though, that level 10 is also soon going to be ready for the blue team. And they're already moving away a bit, since they want to take position around the next tribute. Ring of Frost, okay. The Hunt! And Indomitable gets used, but that could still be a kill. That is a kill. That's a kill, and that could be a double. Oh, nice gust. Yeah, that's a double kill. Illidan is chasing them down, and I don't know what to tell you guys, but that's 6 kills to 0 against the Hardos, and on top... 7 kills to 0? Hell yeah! 7 kills to 0, and a curse. I wouldn't have even gone for that. I would have gone for the boss first, I suppose. And that's a dead Jaina. Unless Yasuo is able to get away. Nope. Nope, it ain't happening. So, yeah, that's a dead Jaina. Poor Jaina gets ganged up upon. Yep. That is not the kind of party that Jaina enjoys. Nope, nope, nope. Top lane, yeah, I guess a little bit of damage against the fort is inevitable, but the minion wave should take that down. In the meantime, Akunis is starting to head into the middle. They're already popping Odin down here to try to go for a bit more damage against the wall, and they're going to open this one up for sure. So I guess we're going to talk about keep damage too. I don't think they can go all the way with this, but even a little bit is going to matter. And Akunis is occupying them in the mid lane. Brightwing even got baited into the middle. And Illidan has no problems here. Guys, this is bad news for the Hardos. They lost the gate at the bottom. Now they're slowly falling back, of course, as they should. But this is trouble. Good gust against Cassia on the other hand. Illidan is jumping in, and Hazu is gonna... well, no. He should die. He should die. And he's dead. Hazu is dead. Illidan is still alive. Jumps back out, but Nick bites the dust. And they're gonna maybe even get a kill against Copenhagen. Not quite. Instead, we might see some comeback thanks to the plays on Jaina. Yasuo with some really sick Ring of Frost in this one. They kill against Illidan, but I call worth it because that's a keep that got destroyed. Now, I can always fault them a little bit for not doing more damage to the other lanes, but the fountain has been taken down here as well. The wall has been destroyed, and at the top, a little bit of damage has been done. Taking the keep down, though, is a big win. Alvaros is moving back. Brightwing didn't even see it, I think. And they're going for the boss immediately. So this is where the Hardos can bring it back now. They don't have level 13, so they try to go for the boss place. And the red team kind of knows what's up, so they're going for their own boss immediately. And they should be able to lock this one in before the Hardos make the rotation towards the top lane. And even if it comes to a fight, I don't think that the Hardos would willingly take it, since it's about level 13 and you don't want to play against the talent advantage. Only the Russian teams are crazy enough to do that. And last time I checked, the Hardos weren't Russian. So there's that. 16,000 damage for Junkrat. We got 20,000 for Cassia, as they're already pushing topside again. And, well, that should be a fort. Yeah, I don't think they can save this. Illidan is going to try and help out at the bot lane. Scratch that. He's not. He's moving into the middle, so he might just hunt in if need be. Dealing with the mercenary camp first. And, well, let's go. Fort is down. He could go for the fight. Illidan, is he going to go for the hunt? First of all, Nick is in trouble. And there's the hunt. Straight for Copenhagen. He's already trying to jump out. Falstad had to use the gust. Hazu's already low. There's the stun and there's the kill. Guys, Rospedol is playing this just perfectly. I talked about the synergy that they had in the last game a bit, whenever we saw that Imperious Vala play, but this is just beautiful to watch. They're coordinating their stuns and attacks so well, it's kind of crazy. And now they got another set of kills here. Jaina is down, they're sieging up with Odin again as they're going for the structures, and there's only Falstad and Garrosh to push them back. Hazu's doing a great job to keep Illidan at bay, but this is still a disaster. They're losing way too much here. The Hardos are being played against the wall. And Rospedol is not overstaying either. They're just falling back here. Well, that was a beautiful fight. I mean, again, that's the battle right there. So they got the kill against Hogger first. Then they're coming in with another stun. The attempt with the Ring of Frost to counterplay that, which didn't really work out for them either. And then the multiple kills that came through, which leads us to 13 kills to 2. I mean, again, against the Hardos. 13 kills. The Hardos only got 2. And a 2-level lead. Right now, Rospedol makes this look like quick match. Which is a bit... it's nuts. Martial Law on 16. We got the Marked for Death. Yeah, and now 2-level lead is still in play. With the camp taken and the level 16 advantage, they should take this one for free. Yeah, there should be no way that they're saving this one. I just don't see it. I would be shocked if they can hold on to it. That's a fight that they are more than willing to take. They have to be a bit careful of Falstad, I suppose, so that it doesn't fly behind them and gets a good gust. But even if he gusts it, as long as the camp is soaking some of the shots, that's not even going to be a problem. And yeah, Garrosh gets murdered again, I suppose. Well, no, Brightwing with the save in the last second. Great coordination here. And that's a triple kill. Oh, that's a 5-man wipe, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. All 5 taken down. Damn, son. That was brutal. And once again, the Hardos coming back with a big play. I mean, what the fuck? Check this one out. So first, Stukov dies, then they come in. The Ring of Frost that we've seen from Yasuo in this game are absolutely insane. The Ring of Frost are fucking crazy. I mean, this is mind-blowing. His ring was absolutely stellar. 7 kills to 13. They got the 5 kills in, and that closed the entire gap. You have Falstad setting it up for the team. Jaina comes in, drops the AoE, and BAM! They get the kills. Crazy. Now we're looking at 20 kills in total, and the Hardos are back to business. They're even ahead in structures now. Or well, they will be once the fort is down here. And there it goes. Rospedol, they must be frustrated at this point. I know I would be. I mean, I would definitely be frustrated in that situation. Can you imagine you have 2 maps? On both, you're heavily ahead against your opponent. And then it's like 1 or 2 fights that just totally destroys you. Nice and dominable by Nick. But again, it's not over yet. It's more of an even playing field now. Ah, well, and at least let's acknowledge that the bottom keep has fallen. Something that we should have probably pointed out. So yeah, structurally speaking, Rospedol is still ahead. My bad. So yeah, bottom keep is down. Okay, so next tribute is coming up, and that's the second tribute for one of the teams. Both of them already hold 1. Yeah, someone is trying to double check who's rushing through. Seems like they're gonna give this up, or is Falstad flying in together with Brightwing? Yeah, there's 1 interrupt at least. Already the dash. Can they get the damage in? Nick the punching back. But he survives again. Nick is alive, trying to go for Illidan, who jumps out of the fight. Could always return back into it. A little bit of a fight here in the back against Copenhagen, who nearly falls. And in the meantime, Blaze gets annihilated. Blaze is down. That's the main tank gone. And now that Ether is also starting to lose hit points, they're starting to slowly retreat here. And I don't think they have a chance of locking that tribute in and winning that fight any longer. So they might as well give it up. Alvarus, slightly slow. That looks like another kill, and yes, he dies. Yeah, nice attempt at getting a counter kill against Hazu, but that didn't work. Instead, Cassia dies too, and now they're just slapping Stukov around a little bit. And that is 4 heroes down the drain. And of course, Hazu locks in the tribute, and with the bosses back up on the map, that's the moment where the Hardos can come in and just simply take boss after boss and push for keeps. Hardos are just incredible. I mean, they really are. 11 kills to 13. They looked like they had no chance to come back into the game. But then they pulled off the 6.5 out of 10 moment. And went straight for it. By the way, I think I need to explain this one. Memes are always nice and good, but I have more and more people asking these days what that means. So back in the day when Heroes of the Storm came out, IGN had a review of Heroes of the Storm. And the guy who reviewed the game was a hardcore Dota 2 fanboy. And he gave Heroes of the Storm a 6.5 out of 10 rating. And one of the biggest points that the guy criticized was that there are 0 comeback mechanics in Heroes of the Storm, which is obviously one of the dumbest things that we've ever heard at that time in particular. And pretty much showcased that the guy hadn't even played the game properly. And therefore, since then, the 6.5 out of 10 became a Heroes of the Storm meme that even Blizzard embraced and included in some of the art that they used for some of the maps and other stuff. So there's where that comes from. So in case you never really caught up or on that, now you know. Yeah, there's a curse that got now dropped onto the red team. So Rospedol are now in real trouble, dealing with the boss at the bot lane. A level 20 on the opponent's side. And a big push happening at the same time. But let's see if they can somehow throw this back or not. But now it's getting a little bit tricky. Because, again, the keep is gone. A keep is gone. Illidan is trying to get the experience for them to bring them to 20. What they try to avoid here is that the game ends, of course. That's what they're trying to avoid. That's the biggest issue right now. Yeah, with a kill, that would already work. They're already jumping in with a hunt. There's the Mighty Gust again. Boss on the march. And Illidan. Illidan is dead. Bullying the blind guy. The Hardos bullying the blind guy here. Brightwing saving Nick. He turns it around. They're trying to get the additional kill. The boss on the core. Alvaros is down. So is Cassia. This is game. This is game. The Hardos with the 2-0 victory in the semi-final. They are advancing to the grand final of the first qualifier of the X Cup. Rospedal going down with an 0-2, losing out on Cursed Hollow. GG and well played as the Hardos claim the win and advance to the grand final.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.